While the video game industry has been seeing record high profits, we're also seeing lots of issues internally, like very long development times leading to customer backlash, and also tons of layoffs. But now, the video game journos that feel they control the industry are now facing problems themselves because we are seeing Kotaku Australia being closed down. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube membership. So I wanted to start off with this minimal effort article. It says, in a move that should surprise no one, it has been announced via Twitter/X that the Australian affiliates for Vice, Gizmodo, Refinery29, Kotaku, and Lifehacker will no longer publish in Australia. This is reportedly part of a plan to restructure and cut costs for the Australian-based Pedestrian Group, with dozens of jobs getting slashed in the process. Now, yes, we are seeing record high layoffs within the industry, which does not bode well for all of these jobs that, let's be honest, are obsolete at this point. When you have content creators on other platforms like YouTube, why would companies continue to pay these people for their low effort content, especially when they are going to fight back at every chance they possibly can and ultimately ruin their reputation in the process? Now, of course, I do not revel in the fact that people are losing their jobs. I do feel bad for them on a human to human level, but at the same time, these are the consequences of their own actions. This is what happens when you are not focused on putting up high quality content that does not divide your audience, and instead you're putting out article after article insulting the viewers you need to keep your job. I mean, ultimately, you reap what you sow, and I've said it for a very long time, but gaming journalism is basically dead at this point, and the only way to save outlets like Kotaku is to completely clean house, because there are so many activists within these publications that you would have to completely restart from square one. And yes, Kotaku is a well-known name amongst gamers because they've been around for so long, and over the years they have done things like publish gaming guides, but that is what they should be focusing on. If that's all they were doing, well, I still think that they would be getting clicks and getting views enough at least to have a couple people working at these sites. But this is what happens when you primarily attack the audience you need. Now, of course, we have seen lots of layoffs, especially amongst video game journo activists. I mean, just back in 2020, we saw the closure of Kotaku UK. They shut down, and the internet had celebrated because Kotaku is a joke. Nobody has any respect for them. And we also just saw, not even that long ago, only back in March, the editor-in-chief at Kotaku resigning, Jen Glennon, saying that she no longer felt comfortable working for them and she was not, on board with the direction they were going in. And this was around the time we heard apparently these executives were really pushing them to just write game guides and stop writing these drama-filled opinion pieces. And of course, they have not stopped doing that, or they've hidden their narratives under the guise of guides and deep dives. Look at the Elden Ring review, Shadow of the Erdtree review Alyssa Mercante had recently put out, where in several different portions of it, she complained about how, her life is so hard and everyone on the internet is being mean to her. This is why they are a complete and utter joke within the industry. And there are tons of people that either worked at Kotaku Australia coming out and talking about how sad they are, or people just in the industry in general coming out saying how upset they are and how sad this is. All of the people who ever went through those publications put their heart and soul into them, frequently in spite of some of the challenges they faced. But amongst the people let go from Kotaku Australia, one of them is David Smith, who is definitely a very vocal person within the industry, industry who doesn't really care about anybody but himself. He had previously, not that long ago, back in May, said ban guys like this for life. I don't give a shit. Hardware ban them and ban them for life. It was a clip that had went viral where a woman was in a Valorant match and there were some men making some remarks towards her, but he's saying, let's straight up hardware ban these people. They shouldn't be allowed to play video games. And he had actually just posted about how, of course, he was losing his job, saying, folks, I have some sad news to share. Today, the story of Kotaku Australia comes to a sad and abrupt end. It has been one of the great joys of my life to wake up every day and run a site I love with all of my heart. Now, Smash JT had posted this saying, yeah, I don't take joy in seeing job loss. The main goal has always been to make them aware of the road being traveled. And yeah, I mean, it does suck to see people lose their jobs, but at the end of the day, these are the types of people that are hurting our industry. These are people who are not doing us as any favors and do not represent what gamers actually want. Now, this article right here encapsulates the problem with these activists. I've referenced this a couple of times on the channel. This was from Claire Jackson on their Australian website, even though she is also a writer for the United States or the base Kotaku. It says how to get Stellar Blade's new, very revealing outfits. It says, well, no, that's actually not effing true at all. As expected, some people are thrilled to see more digital nudity, while others are stamping their feet upset that Shift Up hasn't given them what they wanted, which is free speech and digital tits. Y'all know porn exists, right? You do not deserve to have a job writing for people who you do not hold any level of general respect for. Someone like Claire Jackson clearly hates gamers, and the problem with people like Claire Jackson is that they don't want us to have a voice. They simply want their voice to be heard and their voice to be the only one that's relevant to gaming developers. They think that the shift ups of the world should not exist, that fan service shouldn't be put into video games, and it's so ridiculous. It is insane. And of course, these people are massive hypocrites. I mean, in the past, Claire Jackson had written about how the sex scenes in Baldur's Gate 3 were okay. Now, of course, I think all of this content is ultimately okay. I'm not attacking the content itself of something like BG3, but I'm attacking their sheer, blatant hypocrisy. This is why people point and laugh at video game journalists, because they're more worried about pushing their political opinions into the industry and having developers only represent what they think is positive change or the way the industry should be going. They don't actually care about very different opinions being represented in video games or in the industry, and that is why people have no respect for them. They have been pushing away viewers left, right, and center, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. And it wouldn't surprise me if we continue to see massive layoffs at just normal Kotaku, the United States-based Kotaku, and we see someone like Alyssa Mercante end up losing her job. Now, of course, again, I am sitting here saying I am not reveling in the fact that people are losing their jobs, but ultimately, when you are not doing a good job and you are not making a company money, you are going to get cut out of the industry. You are going to lose that job. And if the, tides were changed here and it was someone like me losing their job, they would be reveling in it. We know that they would be jumping up and down for joy because people like this think they have been replaced because of angry grifters on the internet, even though we are simply providing viewers with the content they actually want. We're not sitting here saying, oh, you know what? You guys effing suck. And we're not laughing at the very people that we need and ultimately want to consume the content that we are creating, because content creators like myself have respect for the people who view our content, but not people at outlets like Kotaku Australia, and now they are reaping what they sowed, because Kotaku Australia is shutting down. Dozens of jobs are getting slashed in the process, and I can't say that I'm all that surprised. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.